Welcome to Woo La La La. My name is Julia. Today we have on Tawny from Tawny Fit. Tawny is a personal trainer, and although that is not usually the direction I go in my interviews, she looks sparkly to me. And I trust my intuition. And if she looks sparkly, then I know she has a story. Thank you for being here with me today, Tawny.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
Yes. So I know that there must be a story behind this, right? So
Oh,
would you
sure.
mind sharing with us the story of how your business got started and the process of it?
How much time do we have, right? So, when I was younger, about 11 years old, I started going to the gym. And my dad was really into bodybuilding, and he would take me. And at first, I was just kind of there because I'm like, my dad's forcing me to go to the gym. Like, back then I didn't think it was cool, but now I do. And over time, I just ended up developing like this love and this need to go there. It was my escape. My parents, and my dad did his best, but my parents were always arguing.
Mm,
It was always a very traumatic household. And when I would go to the gym, I kind of just felt like that was like everything shut off, right?
mm,
Um, and when I was 15 is when I really started taking it seriously. And I loved seeing the progress that my body was making. And I was getting really into it. And I started looking into bodybuilding and all that stuff. And that became one of my biggest hobbies, and it still is to this day.
mm.
Um, and when I was 18, I went and I got my personal trainer certification. And then that was pretty much it with that. Like I set off, and I started working in different gyms, which I would never take back because it was such a great experience.
Mm.
Meeting different people, meeting different trainers, learning from them. And then I was going to move to Philly. So right now I'm in South Jersey.
Oh,
And my dad passed away unexpectedly.
oh goodness, I'm
Um, Thank you. And so I moved to Philly, and not only was I moving to a new city, a big city, starting a new job as a fitness manager, and all these things, but then I'm doing it without my dad,
who
and
inspired
it
you?
was yeah, and it was just it was
Mhm.
completely like I don't know, it just kind of threw me for a loop, and I had to like figure out everything on my own.
Mm,
Um, and that also was a really good time in my life where I would go back to my apartment after working, and it was just like silence.
mm,
And I would sit there and I would think a lot.
mm.
Um, and I don't know, it started to shape me into the person I am today, like just kind of being alone with my thoughts, like, why do these things happen? What am I going to do with my life? And there was no part of me that ever wanted to be anything but a personal trainer. I love my job.
Oh, I love that.
But
See, that's why you looked sparkly to me.
yeah. But sometimes it's not the most fruitful. And it really just depends on a lot of factors. It depends on where you're at, depends on the economy and all that stuff, because personal training is a luxury. Um, and so I was struggling for a little bit there. And then I met my fiance, and I ended up getting pregnant, and we moved back to South Jersey. And after that, I was trying to navigate and trying to get a new book started up because all my clients were back in Philly,
Mhm.
and I was still training, and that's when I kind of started doing a little bit of virtual, which was great. I love virtual training. And then COVID happened.
Oh, so
And
you started doing the virtual training before COVID.
a little bit before COVID. Yeah,
Do
yeah.
you think your dad
Um,
was whispering in your ear about that one?
yeah, like I kind of like feel like he's always in the back of my mind, like, don't give up. He was really like an all or nothing type of person. So whenever I feel like I'm ever like slacking with something, I'm like, my dad would be like, come on now, like get it together.
Mhm.
So COVID happened and the gyms all shut down. And so I completely stopped working in Philly because, well, first, the drive's about 45 minutes. And then I also just had my second baby. So I decided to take everybody virtual at the time. And I absolutely loved it. And it's just like this, just through like FaceTime or Zoom. And it's pretty much like we're in the same room and we're having a full session.
Yeah.
Um, and then in that September in 2020, um, we bought a house. And a year later, I built my garage gym.
Oh,
So,
wow.
and I've been
I was
having,
checking that out. That's pretty cool.
thank you. Yeah, I worked really hard on it. I have clients coming in, and I also do virtual as well. So I do both. And I do love it. And I love the fact that I wake up in the morning and I start at 5 a.m. I wake up in the morning and I'm happy to do my job. I'm never miserable. I'm never like, oh, I gotta get up and I gotta go to work. Like I truly love what I do, and that in itself is worth, even if I have a cap on how much I'm making or anything like that. I know that I am just fulfilled in my work.
I love that. Now, are there days that you kind of wake up though and you're like, oh, I'm just exhausted and I do not feel like doing this today?
No, with my children,
Ah, interesting.
but
So,
no, not with work.
so
No.
working out for you is the dopamine then.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. Well, I like to do something where I call chakras in motion, and I'm talking movement is medicine, right? Movement in our body is movement in our lives. And I keep on getting this spiritual message that it's so important to keep our vessel in as best shape as possible in order to have the best connection with source energy. Do you
Mhm.
have any like spiritual practices?
I don't. When I found your page, I was just scrolling through my 40 page and you popped up in a video and I was like, I love her like energy. She's so authentic. Like, and I feel like especially on Instagram, everybody is just so fake and
Thank
so
you.
just I don't know, they're like a robot, and
Yes,
like you're not because you're constantly moving and you're just constantly thinking,
I'm a
using your brain
dork
to like
too.
capacity.
I allow myself to be a dork, and and I'm a little bit chaotic. I'm going to tell you, like I'm all over the board, and I have people telling me like all the time of like, well, you need to, all your fonts should be the same, and your color scheme, and I'm like,
Yeah.
man.
No,
Like
I love it. I love your
my
energy.
authenticity. I just want and I understand what they're talking about. You know what I'm saying? But
Mhm.
I more than anything, you just nailed what is most important to me. That my authenticity shine through and that people feel like I'm their friend, you know,
Yeah.
and that they can just like think, oh, I could sit down and have a cup of coffee with her and we could chat and be friends, and maybe I might learn something.
Yeah. Yeah. Where do you live, by the way?
I live in Florida now.
Oh,
I'm
in
from
Florida.
Michigan originally.
Oh, okay. Okay. Because I saw Central Time.
Yes. Well, and I live in the top part of Florida. And so the top part of Florida is the same time as like Chicago.
Oh, okay. So you learn something new every day.
Yeah, yeah. And most people are like, "Oh, but you're on Florida time." I'm like, no, I live in not as my kids say, not real Florida. We don't live in the
Oh,
cool Florida, they say.
that's the floor I would like.
You would like the real Florida or the fake
No,
Florida?
no, the cool Florida.
Yeah, we're like 20 minutes from Alabama.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's all good though. I I didn't feel like I was going to fit in here, but I'm doing fine. I've been here for about 7 years. And have you always lived in New Jersey? Where did you say you were?
No. So when I was 16, which is a whole other story, I lived in Colorado for a year,
Oh, interesting.
um, and Colorado Springs.
Hmm.
So it was gorgeous there. The summers were like really hot. I was surprised. I think when I went over to Colorado, I thought it was going to be so cold, like 24/7. And like it wasn't. The summers were really, really hot and the winters were really cold.
Mm-hmm.
And then I came back and I definitely missed all the snow. New Jersey hasn't really had much snow in the last, I don't know, like maybe 10 years. It's
Interesting.
like here and there, but it's not much. And when I was a child, in the late 90s, I remember we would have snowstorms that would completely shut us out, like couldn't leave for
Yeah.
days. And so now, I really miss the snow and all that
Huh.
beautiful scenery.
Yeah.
So,
That's it's so interesting how everything is changing and
yeah,
our weather is all changing so much. We've been
yeah.
freezing here. Now my greenhouse, I love, that's my thing because I love growing food, I love growing people, I love growing things. So but my greenhouse has an irrigation system and it froze this winter and busted the pipes. I'm a Michigan girl. I should know better. I should I should have known to like keep that water running, you know? But yeah, I don't know. Being in Florida for this long has made me forget about what to do when it freezes.
I saw that you have, a garden and everything. I'm really interested in all of that. I would
Ooh,
love to grow my own food in the future.
yeah.
Around here, I don't know really what's going on, but the produce has been absolutely horrible.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, everywhere it's just rotten on the shelves, and you're like, are you allowed to sell this?
Wow. That's
So
kind of
yeah, I would
crazy.
really like to do it myself.
Oh yeah, stick around. I can teach you some things about that. I love
Love that.
growing things and I'm learning more about permaculture and how to get our soil back into shape because that's what's happening is like our soil is just like depleted. And I know that you care about our bodies. I mean, you're working out and you want to tell people like this is how you get your body in the best shape as possible, right? But you can't get your body, no matter how much exercise and stuff you do, if you're not putting in the correct fuel, then you're not going to be able to be as best as you can be, right?
I
And
believe in 50-50. I know a lot of trainers will say diet is 90%. I don't believe that. I think it is 50-50. I
yeah,
think you need to be constantly moving. It's very important. Our bodies were meant to move. We're not meant to sit on a couch and
yes.
binge watch Netflix. We're meant to move. We're meant to do lots of physical labor. And then for food, like, I have so many clients that will come to me and they'll be like, oh, so what should I get? Should I get this protein powder and this and that? And I'm like, just eat foods that grow from the ground.
Yes. Whole
Like you
foods.
see
Protein
vegetables,
powders kind
like
of drive me crazy. I was like,
yeah,
okay. Okay, and don't get me wrong, I'm so into like building my business and everything right now. I've made jokes about like, man, can't I just take a pill? I don't feel like taking the time to
yeah.
eat right now. Like I just I want to keep going with what I'm doing. I want to be making more videos and doing things and I do love cooking, but sometimes I'm like, okay, I'm going to be honest with you. This is the conversation I had with my husband. I said, I wish eating was more like sex. Where
More
you could
enjoyable.
you could enjoy it when you wanted to, but it wasn't essential for your survival,
Right, right, yeah.
because I want to be able to enjoy it. And I do enjoy food, but I also sometimes I'm so busy that I don't feel like taking the time to actually do what I have to do, but we have to do it. You know what I'm saying? And that's when the protein powders do come in. And once in a while, like that kind of stuff is good for once in a while,
Supplementation.
yeah,
So I think a lot of people like, they look at that and they're like, oh, I gotta take that, protein powders and every single powder thing, powdered greens that they have now,
right.
and it's like, it's supplementation made for supplementation. Like that's for when you don't have access to real food. It shouldn't be used as
Exactly.
a Mhm.
Right. Or in cases where you're just busy, that's your fast food, you know?
Right.
That's something you can grab quick uh as a supplement. They're called supplements for a reason. It's not
Like
supposed
that.
to be the original. Oh, I love the way that you are thinking because there's so many fitness people that are just all about the shakes and the
Mhm.
powders and
They're getting paid to push that.
yeah.
They get commissions on all those, so they push all the supplements, and that's fine. They're making money off of that, and they're helping people. But for me, I'm very for eating fruits, vegetables, and
Yeah. What is your style of coaching?
well, in the past, I did like lots of boot camp classes and all that stuff. And the whole premise behind the boot camp is, be like pretty much like a drill sergeant, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
and it just never felt natural to me. Yelling at people and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm definitely more relaxed, and easygoing type of personality. So, when I stopped doing the classes, and I started doing the one-on-ones a little bit more frequently, my style is really just, I feel like the most that I do is distract my clients. Um,
That's so good. I
yeah, so
understand that. I worked as a birth doula for many years. So I get that where you're just distracting them, right? And like, come on, you can do
yeah,
it. And you
I'm like,
start
all
like,
right,
what's
we're
your
gonna,
dog's name?
yeah, that's what I do, but with cats because I love cats. Um,
Well.
Yeah, I'll be like, I'll give them their exercise. I'll show them how to do it, make sure that their form is correct. And then I'll be like, so what are your hobbies? Like, tell me.
Yeah,
And then when they start to get out of breath or they're having trouble talking, that's when I know it's on the right track for them. So, but
that's
by the end of
good.
the session, because my sessions are typically 30 minutes long, by the end of the session, they're like, wow, that was such a great workout, but like it flew, like, because
I
we were having
love
such
it.
a good
That's perfect.
conversation. And then I also have a lot of people that have been with me for quite a long time, and we have very deep talks. And
And that's even better because that's wonderful because then mm, what I say is like when I'm doing chakras in motion is when you're moving your body, emotions start coming out, things that start getting released. And, you get stuff that's stuck in our physical, we get emotions stuck in our physical body. So they're moving their physical body and you're talking to them and having them real conversations, even though you're like, I'm just going to distract them. You're doing what comes naturally to you and you are following your intuition, whether you realize it or not, of what is best for these people because when you're talking to them, you're helping them release things out of their body as they move their body.
right. And I'm a neutral person, I'm being
Mhm.
paid to be with them, so it's not like, they're talking to their best friend who's going to, always take their side or whatever. I'm kind of like that neutral person where they can just vent to me, and, get it all out. I have had so many women cry during sessions.
Mhm.
And I love that they got that out with me. And
Mhm.
then afterwards, they would have like this mental clarity. They'd be like, wow, thank you. I feel so much better now. Like, I know what I'm going to do. So
Yeah.
I'm really glad that I can not only help them out with, feeling better, looking better, but also mentally as well.
Oh, I love that so much. And I love it in a way that I love it that you're not a spiritual person in a way because it's not like you're thinking about it. You're just ultimately following your intuition of how to best help these people.
Yeah,
And they're coming
absolutely.
back to you. How is the business going? I mean, are you overflowing with clients or how is that going?
It's kind of like a revolving door. I
Mm.
stay really consistent, with how many clients that I have at a time. So if one leaves, and that could be for anything, it could be financially, it could be they're moving, lots of different factors. But when they leave, I seem to get like one or two more in their place. So it's constantly, going. I think I'm very available. Like I work 7 days a week. Um, so it is a little bit tougher for me, um, as far as like figuring out a good schedule, and I think
Mhm.
I am going to change my schedule up a little bit for some me time.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
I watched your one of your videos where you were like you were outside and you were like, I'm feeling the sun on my face, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? I never like I work out in my garage, but I never like actually go outside and have the sun in my face. Like I feel
Ah,
like I'm just missing that connection with
the earth.
earth. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like between my children, they are 4 and 6. Between my children, you know, I'm engaged, but I'm practically a wife.
Oh,
You know, doing wife stuff, and you know all that, taking care of the household. I feel like I'm just constantly pushing out all that energy for everyone else, and then
mhm.
I never give it back to myself.
You
So
have
I would
to.
love. I know. It's one of the things I really struggle with. So I would really like I'm going to be doing every other night off in the evenings, but
I
keep my
love
mornings.
that.
So I'm a morning person. I'm going to be up regardless.
Yeah.
But in the evenings, my goal as it gets nicer outside, because I don't like the heat, I would like to sit on my back porch in my rocking chair and just watch the sun go down.
Oh,
I
it's
just feel like
gorgeous.
I need that time to myself to just, you know, maybe read a book or something
Yeah.
like that.
Even grab
Have
a
that.
journal with you if you want to. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
And if
yeah.
something is inspiring you, because nature inspires us, you know,
Mhm.
and being able to just do that and to just feel the sun on your face and to just, I feel like it like refuels us, you know, to just feel that sun, feel and to just watch the power of nature.
Yeah. I would also like to like, you know, walk outside with new shoes on. Like I just feel like I'm always dressed ready to work, or
Yeah.
I'm ready to, you know, do things with the kids, and I need that time for sure.
Oh,
And
that's
that's
good.
all of mine to take.
Yeah, and the kids might even like doing things with you, like outside.
Yeah. When I'm with them, it's also I'm in mom mode, you know.
Mm,
Like I have to, you know, constantly like little things here and there. Like our neighbors have dogs and no fence, so I have to
mhm.
stand there and just keep an eye out that they don't cross over or anything like that. And I would just like to go outside and just lay out there and not have to
Right.
worry about anything else.
Yeah. You don't have to be on.
Right. Exactly.
Hmm. Yeah, I love that. And my kids are getting older. My youngest is 15. I have four daughters. So 27, 21, 19, almost 20, and 15. And I'll tell you, it's a bit different, but I remember the days of the little ones, and I do get more time now for myself, and it does come the more
Yeah.
time for yourself, but you can be a better mom too when you take that time to decompress because then you can think about all of the different things, you know,
Right.
things just creative ideas pop into your head and everything like that too. I have a feeling that a lot of creative ideas pop into your head early in the morning. Is that correct?
Yes, I will wake myself up early just thinking about things. So I typically get up around like 4:30, and you know, I'm thinking about my day. I'm thinking about my early morning clients and
Mm.
what's on the agenda for that day. And then when I'm going to eat, I'm like constantly thinking. I'm on
Mm.
overdrive 24/7. So,
Mm.
um,
So nature
and
will really calm that in you. And I love it that
yeah,
you've recognized that it will. And I'm glad you stumbled on the page and watched
yeah.
this hippie chick running around barefoot with the sun on her face.
You know what? Around here, I don't know if you've ever been out this way, but like, everybody's mean. Um,
My oldest lives in New York City, so
yeah, yeah. Everybody is just nobody is pleasant. I mean, I can go out to the store and just everybody looks mad and angry, and you're so pleasant and like you know positive. You know,
oh,
I don't.
thank you.
I think people would like be like, oh my god, is that woman okay? Because everybody
People
here is
are
just
like that.
yeah, because everybody here is so just like just angry and pent up, and
But
there's a
my
lot of things.
kids say to me all the time, like, Mom, some people think you're too much. Some people think you're too intense. Because I go to the store and I'm just like, oh, I love your blouse.
Yeah.
Like one lady, oh no, she was getting coffee. We are both getting coffee. And I just said something about like how beautiful the weather was or something like that. And she turned to me and she goes, did I ask you to talk to me? And I was like,
Oh my gosh.
I'm so sorry.
She's originally from Jersey. Yeah, like um and there's been times where like, I'm walking around and I want to compliment someone like, "Oh, I love your, whatever."
Yeah.
And but I'm like, they're intimidating. They look just angry and at the world, and I get it. There's a lot of things to be angry about, but there's also so many things to be happy about
I
as
say
well.
do it anyway. Compliment them anyway. I started getting those messages, I don't know, maybe like 15, 20 years ago. I started hearing spirit say to me, like, you should tell her her hair looks nice. And I'm like, "Oh, I'm gonna just walk up to some rando and tell her hair looks nice. That's weird. Um, and I kept on getting the messages over and over again. And I have had people break down and cry. I've had some of the weirdest experiences of just complimenting people randomly in public, and spirit guides me to them. It'd be like that one, and I'm like, okay. And I go over, I'm like, oh, that dress looks beautiful on you today. And I've had people go like, are you serious? Oh, thank you. And it's some even as bad as like, oh, I just returned back from a funeral. And I'm just like, oh man. So I have to learn how to like protect my energy though too, because sometimes people like look at me and they're like and they grab onto me.
Yeah.
um, oh man, look, I am running out of it says upgrade today. I'm running out of time. This is what
Oh,
I'm learning for. You know what, there's I will say that there is a question that I really want to ask you, and that is like, where do you see your business going in the future? What is your biggest wildest dream for how your business is going to go?
my wild. Should I do a realistic and then wild?
No, 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 no. Biggest, wildest. Like if you had a magic wand in your hand and you could just create whatever you wanted, what would you create for your business? What would it look like?
That's a really hard question because, when I look at things, I kind of look at them, I don't want to say realistically, but like, yeah, like kind of, I
Analytically.
pat myself off. So I never really thought about that. I guess I can see myself, when my kids are older, and out of the house and all that stuff. I could see myself um, not in New Jersey anymore.
Mm.
And, kind of like learning different forms of exercise around the world.
Yeah.
Going to different countries and all that stuff and experiencing that and experiencing just different classes that they have, different philosophies and all that stuff. And then while I'm doing that, still keeping my virtual business afloat. I think
Yeah.
that would be the goal there in the future. And it definitely could happen.
Yeah.
Um, but
So you could even like look at things like belly dancing, right? And
yeah,
incorporate
anything.
like belly
I'm
dancing and
anything.
and like what is belly dancing good for? What is Tai Chi good for? What is all these different movement modalities from all different cultures? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, like I would just love to learn all of that and experience that.
I would
Yeah.
love, oh, that would be wonderful. And who knows, you might even have an upgrade of facility or although your facility looks
Yeah,
amazing.
for me, my realistic goal is this is in my garage at the moment.
Mhm.
I would really like to get a pole barn in my backyard because we have
Yeah.
some property back there that's twice the size. And get a little bit more equipment, get a whole like HVAC, a whole system,
Yeah.
for heat and air conditioning because it does get a little hot in here in the
Yeah.
summertime.
Mini split.
Yeah, a little mini split, have a little bathroom in there so that the clients can change coming from work because that's been a little issue
Oh
that I've run
yeah.
into. And then create this space as like a den for my family and have toys, a little couch, some storage space and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So that's on the agenda. I don't know when that's ever going to happen, but a
Would you
little
ever
bit.
try, would you ever travel to do things?
Yeah, for sure. I have traveled in the past.
Oh, I love that. That would be
Mhm.
wonderful. So, what do you think having this in place, what would be like a first step that you could do if you in order to get started on building this dream of are you planning any vacations or anything like that?
No, not at the moment. Um, I am trying to find different things that I can do with my children while they're small.
Mm.
Um, so that's something that's really like on my agenda at the moment because they're going to grow out of certain things.
Oh, absolutely.
So I definitely want to kind of take advantage of all of those first.
Do they
Um,
like exercising and everything too then?
yes, yeah, and they're both in wrestling as well.
What about Ninja Warrior things? Have they gotten into that at all? My kids used to like Ninja Warrior things. Or is that a
Um,
bit dated? My
yes,
kids are older.
yeah, yeah. They're really into like super werewolves. Um,
Super werewolf. I don't know it. I'll have
yeah,
to check it out.
yeah. There's a YouTube family called the Hall family, and
Oh, okay.
they're the super werewolves, and they do a good. It's a small channel, but they do such a great job, and they're super into that. And just lots of Lego stuff, building things. Um, and yeah, I try to let them be bored as much as possible, so I'm
Mm,
learning to take away the tablets. I really want them to start using some brain power
yeah.
and
Boredom
start
creates creativity.
exactly. Yeah. So
Mhm.
that's what I'm currently trying to do. And then I just want to take them out for just small experiences here and there.
I love it. I love that. Well, thank you so much for coming on with me today. I feel like I could sit here and I could keep talking to you for so long, but I'm looking at my timing and I'm like, you've got 4 minutes left, lady. So if you and I'm so happy that you got to be my first person that I'm trying this new technique with. But I would love to have you back and to hear like
Yeah.
more details because what I didn't get to ask you is about inspiring clients and things like that. So there's so much more that I would actually love to talk with you about. So um would you be into like coming on with me a different time and having a repeat follow-up?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, wonderful. And I hope you keep following me and enjoy all my hippy dippy running around barefoot sun on my face gardening too.
Of course. I love
Oh,
your page.
oh, thank you so much. I hope you have a beautiful, blessed rest of your day.
You too.
All right,
Thank
bye,
you so much
Tawny.
for having me on.
Oh, you're welcome.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
And thank you all for being here and listening to this interview. It was a little bit all over the place because I'm interviewing somebody who I normally don't interview, but I know now why she was sparkly and why I was drawn to her because I could feel her beautiful energy, and I love how she talks to people while they're exercising, and so she's doing like what I do in chakras in motion and not even realizing she was doing it. She was she helps people release their emotions by letting them talk while they're exercising. Isn't that amazing? I love it so much. So please follow Tawny and follow what she's doing. And on Woo Ah La La La, remember to do the whole all the things like share, subscribe. Um, I want to grow Woo Ah La 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 as big as I can grow it so that I can help as many people as possible. I want it to be so when you become on Woo Ah La La, it is going to be like, wow, I get to be on Woo Ah La 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 because I know when I go on there, I am going to grow and expand because that's what I love. I love helping people grow and expand. And I hope that you help me grow and expand so that I can help others. All right. Have a beautiful and blessed day, and thank you.